Well, I think we have to think about just geopolitical risk. Longer term, I think what Stephen was talking about earlier in terms of the transition is going to ultimately weigh on energy prices over time, on the oil price at least, over time. We know that. I think shorter term, we have a serious problem now because Iran directly engaging with Israel is an absolute game changer. And how this conflict ends, it's not going to end because, I mean, to be blunt, Israel has interest in security, but it has no interest in peace. The reason it has no interest in peace is because it continues to take land from the Palestinians. As long as it continues to take land, ultimately peace will stop that process. So Israel has to get to the stage where it no longer wants land, and then we can really talk about peace. Before then, we're only talking about security and ceasefires and temporary issues. In the old days, security and ceasefires meant we're just dealing with Hezbollah and Hamas and whoever else, which is still problematic. But now we're dealing with Iran. They basically crossed the Rubicon. They're basically willing to directly attack Israel. So geopolitical risks now, even once we eventually calm down, and I was on this show a year ago and said this is going to last a long time. And it's going to still feels like it's going to last a long time. But my guess is such overwhelming use of Israeli force may actually mean 6 months from now we're at a stage where there's a negotiated settlement. But it still means over time, at any given point, if things flare up, Iran can do something that's very destructive to oil resources in the region. We have crossed the threshold here. So I personally think geopolitical risks, people have to think about those as being generationally much, much higher than they have been for a long time. Yeah. And that'll be reflected in the oil price.
Mike.